Hello, friends. Welcome to our virtual open house. I'm super excited to talk to you guys today, kind of about stuff that your kids will be learning from now until the end of the year, their end of the year goals, how I like to teach, what I like to do, just so not only do you kind of get to know what your kids are going to be learning, but you also get to know me and how I teach a little bit. The first thing I kind of want to talk about is our class app, our dojo app that I sent you guys the invites to, I think at the beginning of this week or the end of last week. That is super important. So it's where I'm going to be uploading all of our pictures, letting you guys know what they're doing, any announcements that we have. And the coolest part about the Class Dojo app is that I can let you know what they're doing in real time. So, like if Roland is sharing his toys and being sweet to Baker, I can go into Roland's profile and push the little being sweet to friends button and sharing with friends button, and it'll send you a notification that that's what your kiddo is doing at that time, which I think is super fun and super cool that you guys get to see in real time what they're doing and how they're treating their friends and how they're being sweet, and they're all positive like things that they're doing. I don't have any negative ones on there, so like all you're gonna see is cute little happy stuff. So yeah, if you haven't downloaded that yet, please do it as soon as possible. And if you have any questions, let me know. It's my favorite teaching app that I've found so far, and I've used it for several years now, so I really like it, and I think I'm kind of a pro at it. So yeah, if you have any questions, just let me know. So we're gonna get right into it. So the first thing that I want you guys to know about like the way I teach, and it's not only this class thing, it's a school-wide thing, is we like to teach through play. So like for example, all of our blocks are small enough for one-year-olds to grab, but they're too big to fit in their mouth, so they can still use their fine motor skills, open their hands, close their hands around it, pick it up, that way they know up, and then put it back down, that way they know down, put it beside this block, or you put the red block on top of the yellow block. There we're teaching colors. How gravity works, how it falls, which is really cool because they don't even realize that they're learning all of this stuff at this time. That's kind of the best part about teaching 1 year olds, especially the way that we do it, is that they don't realize that they're learning. We have walkers, which is hilarious to watch them because some of our friends that can't walk, they can get from point A to point B really fast. It's kind of impressive. But yeah, so another example is our balls. We have like red, yellow, different shapes, textures. So if I'm like, hey, Alan, can you hand me the yellow ball? It's good for him to recognize what color that is. Or like we have swirly balls and then we have the spiky ones. So they can be like, oh, this one is smooth and this one is pointy. So it's really cool to see them kind of learn through things that they're already doing in the classroom. Which kind of brings me to my next thing, social emotional skills, which to me is the most important because that's something they're going to carry with them for the rest of their lives. Which you're already really doing by bringing them to school every day. They're learning that it's okay that they don't have to be with mom and dad every second of every day, that they can be with new people, that they can adjust to a new schedule, which your kiddos are adjusting great, by the way. I know we haven't quite got nap time down, but don't worry, that's like a 3-4 month into school mark. So, but yeah, they're doing fantastic with that. And like another example is if Miss Eleanor comes in, who's our awesome assistant, we love her. If she comes in and she's like, hey, you need a potty break, do you need to go get craft supplies or anything like that? And that way they're learning that it's okay if I leave too, like someone that they're comfortable with. If I leave the room, that it's okay. Also, a good emotional skill, social skills are next, is learning to cope with their emotions, letting them know that their emotions are fine, that they're real, but this is how we make yourself happy again. So like I said, if I go on a potty break or I leave the room for any reason, that Eleanor can come in and be like, hey, I know you're sad, but look, here's this new toy and maybe this will make you happy. Or say that Baker wants his cup, but I can't get him his cup that very second. I can say, hey, Baker, why don't you go play with the walker, or why don't you go throw the ball and I will get you your cup in just a minute. So things like that, like learning how to deal with their emotions and that their emotions are valid and real, but this is how we get happy again. So little things like that. And then with the social aspect, Again, you're already doing that by bringing them to school every day. Well, Tuesdays and Thursdays, every day for them. Um, so they're learning to share, they're learning to love their friends, how to love their friends. As simple as like how to give a nice hug to a friend, or as simple as giving a friend a block when they're done playing with it. So things like that, that they're doing every day, learning without realizing they're learning. That's pretty much our whole goal. So the next thing will be sensory, which is my favorite thing to do. So sensory is super important because they need to learn like what a touch is or what a smell is. So I'm not saying they're going to come out saying, "Oh, that smells like a flower," or "That smells like a dog." But like the different things have different smells is really our goal here. So we do a lot of that through like sensory bags, which I think you guys have seen pictures of. They love the sensory bags, so we do them a lot. Um, so with sensory bags, for example, they're filled with hair gel, beads, a dye of some color, usually glitter, and sometimes I'll throw some ice cubes in there just so that they can feel temperature, which is really funny to watch. Um, so that way they're learning not only how to use their fine motor skills and move around those beads or those ice cubes, but they're learning colors. They're learning shapes with the beads. They're learning all kinds of stuff just through this one project. And it keeps them busy. They love to play with those. That's probably their favorite thing that we do. That's why we do Sensory Thursdays. My favorite sensory project is colored noodles. So they get to feel that they're squishy, they get to feel that they're slimy, they get to learn colors at the same time. So a lot of these are things that we can teach a bunch of stuff in one time, in one project, and they all love it. They love the sensory stuff. It's probably their favorite to do every day. So sensory to me is super important. We will have one taste sensory project around Christmas time, and I'll send home like kind of like a permission slip for that, just so you guys know what we're doing, making sure it's okay for them to eat that. I'm gonna have their allergy list, but I just want to make sure it's okay with you guys, obviously. So for more of like the intellectual stuff, the thing that I like to teach the most is animals, which sounds a little silly, but with animals you can teach so many things. You can teach colors. What color is the cow? Sounds. What sounds your mouth makes, if that makes sense. So like when you go to say ribbit or moo, how the O sounds, or how the O looks, which honestly I need your help with a little bit this year because we have masks on, so they can't necessarily see how our mouth moves with everything. So I'm going to be sending home, it'll also be kind of obvious because like last week, L is for lion. So I'm going to be sending home the letter of the week every week. This week is F, so I'm going to be sending home their fish today. So things like that. So if you can work on them with the mouth sounds and the way it looks, that would be lovely. And yeah, it would be a huge help because they can't see what Miss Becca's mouth looks like saying moo. So yeah, another example is with sensory. So like bird, we can teach them that the bird says tweet, that the bird flies, which is cool, so they can learn up. And then I have access to feathers, obviously, so they can see what a feather feels like. So they're using all of their sensory, they're learning what sounds are. Again, learning without specifically saying this is what you're learning. And then also, so like goals for counting, I would love for them to know 5 by the time that they left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But the best thing about preschool is if they don't get it this year, they're going to go into the 2-year-old class and they're going to get it next year or the next year. I'm a super big proponent for preschool, obviously. So yeah, that's the really cool thing is you don't have to worry about where they're at. I mean, you do. You're going to worry about where they're at and where they're at emotionally and intellectually, but these are goals for also for the end of the year, not anytime soon. It's only almost October. So them not knowing right now is completely fine. We will work on it. And obviously, I have contact with you guys. I love parents. Like, you guys are the coolest people. I've always had really good parents, been super blessed with awesome parents in my class. But yeah, back to counting. So yeah, I want them to learn 5 by the end of the year, at least knowing how things go in a consecutive order, not just that there's all of these things everywhere, if that makes sense. And then colors, not being able to be like, oh, my shirt's blue, but being able to realize that different things are different colors and kind of what a color is, because they're such little sponges, so they're absorbing what a color is, what a sound is, what a touch is, things like that. So a few colors, or I can be like, oh wow, Baker, I like that yellow shirt you're wearing today, or wow, Rigsy, I love your blue socks, things like that. Things that also, like I said, you guys can work on at home as well, just by doing things every day. And then I really like to teach our kids sign language, because 1 year olds obviously can't communicate very well. They can't be like, oh, my hip hurts, or oh, my eyeball itches, things like that. So the more communication they can learn, the better. So instead of, I don't know, Baker being like, when he wants his cup, he can do the sign for cup. And I've seen kids pick it up so quickly. And also, if there's any, I know a lot of parents like to use sign language. So if there's any that you're using at home that you would like them to use at school, please let me know. It would be super fun to teach them and their friends all of the same sign. So yeah, that's another fun way to work with your kid at home as well as at school. And the last thing is self-recognition. So they can be like, I'm Roland, that's Baker, you're Alan, that we're all different people. And self-recognition with body parts. So I can be like, hey Riggs, where's your nose? And he can point to his nose. Or hey Roland, where's your eyes? And he can point to his eyes. Stuff like that. So not necessarily them coming out of my class saying, oh, look at my tibula, but them being able to recognize what body parts are. So like that they hear through their ears also, because we're doing so much sensory. Small things like that, that again, I know I've said it a million times, but that we can teach them without specifically teaching. And then when they get a little bit older, we're going to start including circle time into our schedule. That way it also gets them into the schedule of the 2-year-old class. It helps out the 2-year-old teachers a little bit, so that they're ready when they get up there. So I think that is all I have. I'm going to send you guys a list of everything that I went through, so you don't have to be like, what was that one thing Miss Becca said? So yeah, and obviously you have a ton of ways to communicate with me. Email, you should have my phone number. Obviously Class Dojo, I also have those notifications on during the day. We play our music through there, so it's really easy to hear when somebody is trying to get a hold of me through that. So yeah, if you have any questions, just let me know, send me a message, and we will also be doing another one of these about halfway through the year, so like January, February, just to give you an update, because our goals will change. They'll get colors faster than I think, or they'll understand sensory more than I think, and we'll have to change our goals. We'll have to up them, or if we need to work on colors a little bit more, or body recognition a little bit more, and I'll figure out a way to add that more into the lesson plan. So things like that. So yeah, if you need to get a hold of me, go for it. I'm super excited to go on this journey with you guys and hang out with you guys for the rest of the year and get your kids to the end goal, to the success level that they're going to get to at the end of the year. So thank you guys. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you on Tuesday.